All right, comfortable sitting position. Whatever works for you. Tall spine. Close your eyes for a moment and focus on feeling the breath. So feel that inhale, expand all the way around. Feel the exhale compress. So if it helps, you put your hands on the base of your rib cage. So you really feel that, in particular, back expand. Again, we get better all around expansion here than instead of lying on the ground. So this part should be lifting up a little bit, but neck and shoulders are relaxed. So you have a three-dimensional movement of the expansion around, the breastbone lifting a little bit, exhale and release down. And on the next exhale, feeling that core connection, lifting the pelvic floor, and get that corset to engage in the front and the back. Lift up, lengthen, and create space for your waist. Inhale and let it relax. Exhale, connect, and slowly lowering the ribs at the very end range of motion. Again, just noticing what you feel. Shoulders are back. Head's a natural extension of your spine. And then give me a very gentle imprint. So on that imprint, you lengthen the pelvis, rocks back a little bit and shorten the distance between the ribs and the hips. You're lengthening, open back a little. Inhale and release. Again, small, subtle, just enough that you really feel something move. That's all you need to do. Again, working on body awareness as well. Just got a couple more of these here. Again, get the set first through the core, and then that little imprint happens. Again, we'll layer on from here more motion. All right, so you have your hands on George. She's out in front of you. Collarbones are open. As you exhale, and next time, stay in neutral. Start from the head, slowly round forward. So notice your pelvis, keep it still. You're pushing George forward and out. Take an inhale. When you've gone as far as you're comfortable, exhale. See if you can use the core to draw yourself down just a little bit more. And then inhale, stack your spine all the way back up. Again, get that connection and slowly roll yourself forward on that exhale. Again, reaching from the crown out as opposed to down. Always thinking about creating length in the spine, regardless of the motion. And again, just that gentle pressure on George. It gives you that biofeedback. Is your pelvis staying still? And again, begin to notice a couple more times here. Do you feel equal curve in your spine, or is one area moving and not the other? Last one. And then release. All right, go ahead and bring your feet flat. George goes between the knees. You're coming down onto your back now. All right, so again, take those few breaths and just notice how this position feels different. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, give me that little imprint through the core connection. Press the heels down and slowly roll the spine up. Again, long through the low back. Your rib and hip connection stays the same once it gets set. And then exhale, slowly release yourself down. You'll feel thoracic. Once you get to that low back, your pelvis may move. Your ribs and hips may move. So exhale, go through that imprint, and then you're articulating. Again, you're watching. There's no big opening of the rib to hip. And slowly release down. There may be a gentle lengthening, but no big opening. Last one here. And then check in. Go ahead and let George drop down to the ground. Both feet go on George. Fingertips go behind your head. And so gently pushing the head back into the hands. And as you push back, notice you get a little, probably a lengthening through the low back. That's great. Keep that. So take an inhale. As you exhale, connect that core and then slide the ribs to the hips to do your crunch. Inhale, stay. Exhale, slide the legs out. Keep those knees together, and then inhale, slowly release everything back to where you started. You know, head nod lengthening at the very end, connect the core, you curl up on exhale, you stay for inhale, you exhale, the legs go long, and then slowly release down. Long spine, connect, exhale and curl. On the next exhale, the legs. Working on the endurance. So neck should feel relaxed as you do this. The abs are holding the head up instead of the neck muscles. And so you guys got a little bit of tension between the neck and shoulders. That kind of gives you that feedback. It also gives you the placement of the head so that the neck, that the abs do the work and the neck's in a comfortable position. All right, we got one more. And then slowly release all the way down. Feet can go onto the ground if you like. They can stay on George if you prefer. Arms toward the ceiling. So hands should be a little bit wider than your shoulders. Let those shoulder blades sink into the mat. And then go back to that awareness of your breath again. So as you inhale, feel the shoulder blades go away from each other just a little bit. And as you exhale, they draw in that little bit. So weight is heavy on your sacrum. You have a little space beneath the low back. You're just letting the breath move the shoulder blades. And then for the last few, inhale, let the breath move you, and then at the very end range, you're reaching just a little bit farther, and then exhale, slowly sink down. Inhale, expand, then do your little reach with those fingertips. Exhale, sink down. Last one. And then go ahead and release, roll over onto your side. George goes between the knees. Knees and hips both at 90 degrees. Bottom rib is lifted, top arm reaches long. All right, so starting with, again, a variety of twists that we can do here. So I'm going to inhale, the arm goes up. Exhale, shift the top hip back, around your low back, and then slowly turn the ribs. That arm reaches back 90, go up to 45. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring yourself all the way back around. Again, inhale up, exhale, shift, round, twist. Inhale, reach, enjoy. And then exhale, use those obliques. So we got one more in this fashion. All right, and then bring that top hand to salute. All right, so from here, start with the shoulders, keep the pelvis still, roll the rib cage back. Inhale, open up the rib cage, exhale, bring it back to where you started. So that bottom rib stays lifted, lower body stays still. You're truly isolating through the spine here on this twist. So again, exhale, shoulders roll back, everything else follows down to the pelvis. One more. Oh, excuse me. And then release. Let's flip you over to the other side. Okay, so bottom ribs lifted, knees and hips both at 90 degrees. That top arm reaches forward. Inhale up, exhale, shift the hips, round the low back, turn the rib cage. Take an inhale, stretch, open up. Exhale, back around. And we join that inhale. Up, shift, round, twist. And then use your exhale, come back around. Now one more like this. Inhale, up, shift, gentle round of that low back, gentle twist of the spine. And then back around. That top hand comes to salute. Now pelvis stays still, knees stay stacked, hips stay stacked. As you exhale, start from the shoulder, roll back. Inhale, expand that rib cage again, then exhale, use the obliques to bring yourself back. Exhale, roll back. Excuse me. We got one more. Exhale, roll back. Let's do one more. All right, and then you're gonna go face down. George underneath the breastbone. All right. Getting yourself in position, legs are comfortable, core is engaged. Think about belly button's drawing up off the ground, legs are actively reaching long and down. All right, so as you inhale, gently push the breastbone forward, keep your low back long, slide the shoulder blade, the very end, your nose can lift a 1/4 inch, and then exhale, slowly release yourself down. So again, working on getting movement into that mid to upper back, keeping your neck relaxed. The natural extension through the neck. On the very end, you lift the nose. That gives you a little bit more opening, but it's right from the top of the neck. All right, last one here. Hold this time. Arms out to T. We have 5 T's. So take your time. Shoulder blades slide in, arms lift, neck relaxes. Drop the head if you need to. Keep pushing forward on George. And then slowly bring your arms down by your sides. Release down. All right, so palms are up. Everything is relaxed. Shoulder blades are apart to start. As you inhale, pull the shoulder blades back and lift the arms, reach toward the knees. As you exhale, lift just to hover. Stay here for inhale. I want you to think broad across the collarbones. And then exhale, slowly release down. So it's just a small push forward of George as you exhale into that upper line. So this is your neutral spine from extension. Inhale, open. Exhale, length. Exhale, release. Do one more. We're going to stay up this time. And now moving the arms. So exhale, the arms reach forward. Inhale, the arms come back. So notice the arms naturally turn. So you start with your thumbs down, and then they end up thumbs up in front of you. So just let that natural rotation in the shoulders happen. Keeping the neck relaxed as we go. Again, your hands can slide along the ground. As long as the neck is relaxed, great. Let's do one more. And then release down. Check in. As you bring your hands underneath the forehead. So again, core is engaged, long spine. When you're ready, exhale, lift to hover. Inhale, release down. Exhale, push George forward. Small motion as you lift to that neutral spine again. And release down. Exhale, push forward. Notice the set of your shoulder blades. How does the neck feel as you do your lift? Again, think about the spine. It's always growing long. We got 2 more. Think about shoulder blades are lifting the arms. And this time up and hold. And then you're going to open the arms out to W with the thumbs toward the ceiling. So again, exhale, reach the arms forward. Inhale, hold them back. Exhale, reach the arms forward. So the goal here is that the forearms stay parallel to the ground. Neck stays relaxed. Torso stays still. Let's do 2 more. And then release. Let yourself come down. And then press. Press. Those are please and a press together. Press back to child's pose. So actively engaging the abdominals, round the low back. Again, we're going for that equal curve here. So it's not passive like the child's pose from yoga. This is active. I want you to actively engage into equal rounding. So nothing is excessive. And then slowly bring yourself to all fours. All right, George comes underneath that right elbow. You're going to have the elbow lined up directly underneath that shoulder. Knees can be a little bit wider than your hips. You're pushing out. And then give me that little imprint. That's just that check in of the abdominals. And then shift your weight forward just a little bit. So your hips maybe even slightly forward at these. That's fine. You'll notice it puts more weight onto George. That's fine. All right, so now bringing that left hand up. So you can choose to just stay here. If that's enough, we're working that rotator cuff on the right. If you want more of a challenge, you're going to keep the pelvis level, rotate the rib cage up to the left, and then back to center. Remember to keep your weight forward. That is part of the key of this one. So sometimes we're doing sideline twists. That second one we were doing. Pelvis stays still. You're just turning the rib cage. Lead with the shoulder. You will push out just a little bit with that right elbow before you start your twist. Let's do 2 more. And then release. George, off your elbow. Check in for a moment. Right and left should be similar. And then you're going to put your left elbow on George. Again, elbow lines up underneath that shoulder. Check in with the lower body again. Give that little imprint. Push the hips forward using the glutes. Notice the weight does go into George a little bit more. All right, when you're ready, right hand. So again, you can choose to stay here. When you're ready, exhale if you'd like. Lift that right shoulder. You're going into a twist. Inhale back. So keep those hips forward. And then back. Again, if you'd like a little bit more, you can push out with the left elbow just a little bit, just a small twist on George. Got a couple more. And then release. Go ahead and sit back into shell again. Again, that very active child's pose. Keep your abs engaged. Where can you go and get that equal curve in your low back? All right, bring yourself forward onto your abs again. George, go off to the side for a moment. Hands are going to go underneath your forehead. Feet will go mat width apart. And then bend your knees to 90 degrees and let your heels come together. So you're going to be down on your forehead. I'm going to stay up so I can talk. So as you exhale, I really want you to think about that core stabilization. So the belly button is drawing up. The pubic bone is going down. You're feeling stability through that low back. Okay, so engage that and maintain it. So 10% is just humming in the background. Now exhale, gently press in on the heels. Inhale, let the press go, keep the core. Exhale, press in on your heels, keep the core. So as you're pressing in on the heels, you should feel your glutes fire. Again, prepping stuff today. All right, so now exhale, press on the heels, feel the glutes fire, lift the knees, keeping the pelvis still. Inhale, release down. Exhale, core stays engaged, press the heels, lift the knees. Again, you're working on that connection through the glutes. The glutes and the abs are working in opposition, so your pelvis stays still. And again, that's also allowing you to move the femur in the socket so you get that true isolation on the glutes. So a couple more. So notice your knees. Try to keep them wide. Keep your heels pressing together. Otherwise, those hamstrings are trying to kick in and do work. Got one more. And then again, release, torso down, legs long. Feel free to rock your hips side to side. Just get a nice little release through that low back. And then we're coming into full breaststroke, so make sure you can sweep the arms wherever you are. The legs are a comfortable distance apart. Hands near your shoulders. Lift yourself into hover, and then pick the arms up. All right, so from here on exhale, you're slowly reaching the arms forward. As you inhale, sweep around, lift the chest, push the breast bone forward, hands to your hips. So low back is staying long. And then as you exhale, you're lowering back to that hover. Hands slide up under the shoulders, reach long. Inhale, sweep around. Again, make sure the neck is relaxed. Again, let those spine muscles do the work, pushing that breastbone forward. You're releasing it to long, not just down, think long. Take your time here. Notice what's kicking in as those arms reach long and forward. All right, let's do one more. And then release back into shell, that active child's pose. Again, equal curve in the whole spine. See how everything feels. And then come around onto your back, please. Oh, knees into the chest. All right, legs to tabletop. So if you need to get out of the hip flexors, feel free to keep those knees in a little bit more traditional as the knees are stacked over the hips. But again, that might engage the hip flexors and go into your low back. So feel free to pull in. Ankles should be knee height slightly above. Hands to your knees. Give me an inhale as you exhale, slowly curl yourself up. All right, single leg stretch. So start with the right leg, it pulls in, and then that left leg goes out. And then bring them back to center, left leg in first, and then that right leg out. So you can use the hands to pull, or you can just use them to guide, your choice. Pull and then reach. Again, watch the lower leg. Make sure, again, you're aware of everything. Lots of moving parts here. So if it's getting into your neck, you're also welcome to put the head down. You can also do the hands behind the head. And again, getting that leg knee moving in before the other one extends out. Start with the right, coming in, finish with the left coming in, and then knees to chest, release down. Check in for a moment, see how you feel. And then legs are gonna press toward the ceiling as straight as you're comfortable and do a little bit of walking on the ceiling. So press the heel, press through the heel. Just open up those legs, those hips a little bit more. All right, so next one we're gonna do from this down position with the torso. So both legs are gonna start out straight. And it's similar to what we just did. So keeping the legs as straight as you can. You're gonna bring the right knee in. You're gonna drop that left leg as far down as you're comfortable. And then they have 2 total presses. And then back to center. Left leg draws in, the right leg draws down. 2 presses. So you may notice that that leg coming in toward you bends a little bit. That's fine, again, but it's not a big bend, it's a small bend. So I want you to feel like you're getting the opening through the hamstrings. So you're getting a little bit more release by doing this gentle pulse. Again, it's not fast, it's controlled. All right, start with that right leg pulling in. Finish with the left leg pulling in. And then bring those legs back up, knees to chest, rock around. All right, fingertips go behind the head. Inhale, head nod, exhale, curl. So as you're doing the work here, straighten those legs back up. All right, we're gonna do obliques, but slightly different variation. So that what we were just doing with the legs going straight is what you're gonna twist into the leg that's coming towards you, and then exhale back to where you started. So exhale here, I have the breath wrong, and on the center. So you're still pulling in as the leg drops out, you add that rotation in the upper body, pelvis is staying still. So focus on more, this is the lift as opposed to a twist. If you're lifting this shoulder up, it's gonna create rotation. If you're trying to rotate, it's a totally different motion. So again, think about the lift. That makes the abdominals do the work. All right, we start with that right leg coming in again. So finish with that left leg coming in. And then release, knees to chest. rock around, see how everything feels. And then go ahead and find George again. George goes underneath your feet, letting that neck stay down for you a little bit here. All right, arms by your side, wherever's comfortable, pull the heels in. All right, core connect. So you want you to keep your neutral spine. So you have that little bit of space, but you've got this connection established. So ribs and hips are going to stay the same length. So from here, exhale, push down on the ball, connect the core, lift the hips up only as high as you can maintain straight spine from that mid-thoracic, mid-rib cage to the pelvis, and then slowly lower straight down. Take your straight forward, lifting, lowering, okay? Exhale, core. Inhale and release. So check in, is that core connected the whole time? We got one more like this. All right. Slide George under your left foot only. Right leg comes across. So I'm just putting my foot on my ankle for more of a figure four. Right foot on the knee. You're welcome to do it that way. So exhale, connect the core. Same motion, you're just making one leg do the work now. And then slowly release down. So the goal is here, this is out of the way, but you're not necessarily having to hold it up. But I really want you to focus on what you're feeling through the spine. Two more like this, and then we're going to add some fun. So you can press down with those arms, give you a little bit more stability if you'd like. All right, so this time up and hold, repositioning ball. All right, so notice your glutes. They should both be active. All right, so I want you to relax your right glute, re-engage. Relax your left. So we've done this before when both feet are on the ground and you get a hip rotation. Just keep your leg up there. I'm just demonstrating what it looks like two-legged. All right, so now that we're one-legged, it's the same thing. The motion might be smaller. So this is more awareness of what's happening through the glute. Can you connect it and release it? Connect, release. And then slowly go ahead and release everything down, knees into chest, and take that left leg, press it through the ceiling. That was a little hamstring work. While it's stretching out, go ahead and bring that right foot on George. All right, now let that left leg rest across. All right, so foot flat, just you're comfortable. Where do you want that leg to be? Exhale. Whoa, that's interesting. Cramp on me. All right, so exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Again, if you're finding it's cramping, to put the other leg down. Give it a few times to figure it out, and then bring that knee up. I'm good. Always ways around it. So just pulling in just a little bit of the hamstring. Again, you don't want to pull so much that you make it cramp again. This is definitely strengthening those hamstrings, which is something that all of us need. All right, then you're holding at the top. Again, awareness to the glutes. So feel below both glutes are engaged. Relax the right glute, re-engage. Relax the left glute, re-engage. So both legs are not doing equal work, right? So it might be a little different than what we normally do. Last one, and then slowly down, and then press that right heel through the ceiling. Get nice and straight. Open up that hamstring. You can play a little bit point flex of the ankle if you would like. All right, and then back to tabletop. Arms go out to T. So upper body's engaged and down. Again, where do you need the knees to get out of those hip flexors? As you exhale, you're gonna rock your legs just a little bit to the left. So that right hip comes off the ground. Inhale back to center. Rock your head a little bit to the tips, legs a little bit to the right. So again, knees and feet travel the same distance, right? So there's no lateral flexion in your spine. the rib to hips. They're staying the same distance. They're just moving different directions, if you want to think about it that way. Last set here, so you have this nice strong connection to the core, and then knees in the chest. Relax. Okay. Now your legs are going to extend over, George, so knees on top. Again, that just gives you a little bit of a bend. Legs are going to be together and press through your heels. Connect the core and then take your arms overhead. So we're going to work on roll up. So if you need to put anything under your low back to help you with that final bit of rolling, you're welcome to. The goal here is the legs stay down. So when you're ready, inhale, arms up, exhale, connect the core, slowly add grip, imprint. You can use magic buttons behind the knees if you need to, and then slowly bring yourself up and reach forward. Again, here, you're going for that equal curvature through the whole spine, right? So I was a little bit too deep there. So inhale, abs are engaging. You're just rocking the pelvis back on the femurs. You're letting that pelvis go down first and then letting the spine go straight. So again, maybe you need a little bit more bend in your knees. Exhale, grab behind the knees and use the arms to help up. Equal curve in the whole spine. Inhale, start your roll back. Exhale, slowly release down. Arms overhead. 2 more. So take your time. And again, before you stop, if you're trying to throw yourself up into momentum to get up, do what your body can. And then let it get stronger. Let's work on that mobility wherever your restriction is. Last one, all the way down. And then you're going to take that, George, under your left lower leg. So where are you comfortable having George? Can be more in the foot, can be more under the calf, or under the Achilles. What works for you? A right leg to tabletop. So again, square yourself up. So make sure weight is equal, right and left hips, middle of your sacrum, core connects, in particular on this left side. So we're going into circles. So if you'd like to do it with a straighter leg, you are of course more than welcome to. Remember, the motion happens from the hip. So as you inhale, bringing that circle in and then away from you. As you exhale, you're challenged, bringing your left hip back up and pause. Inhale, take it in and away. Exhale, connect the core on the left, bring it back up and pause. 2 more this direction. Last one. So again, working on disassociating femur and pelvis, and we have 4 circles going the other direction. And again, notice the difference when you start the leg going out and away as opposed to in and away. So thighs should be pointed the same direction the whole time. I believe we have 2 more. So make sure that leg goes out beyond the hip, it goes in, it goes to the side, and it comes in. All right, pause for a moment, check in. And then tabletop, arms to the ceiling, shoulder blades down. So again, watching the pelvis, how far can you drop the leg out to the side? Again, nice and stable through that hip joint, and then bring it back up without lifting the hip, without creating rotation in that leg. So exhale, that leg drops out to the side. Inhale, pull back in. So notice that left side, low back stays still, pelvis stays still. We've got that nice strong oblique connection. We got 2 more. Last one here. And then release, bring the both knees in. Excuse me, check in for a moment. And then your right leg goes out. And again, this is just creating stability, creating feedback. You will feel that leg move if you're out of control, right? All right, so again, you're set up, core is engaged. Hip is equally weighted right to left. Make sure this leg is stacked over that hip socket. The right oblique core is your core connect. So when you're ready, circles. Inhale, the leg comes in and away. Exhale, slowly bring it out and up and back to center. So I got a little movement on my hips on that one. So again, mind what you feel. What's your range of motion? If you feel yourself moving, make it smaller, make it slower. You have a straight leg, bend it more. Got one more here. And then go the other way, excuse me. And again, use that exhale, control. All right, last one. Back to center, take a quick release if you need to. All right, so now right side stays anchored down. This knee is going to go out to the side, the foot and the knee travel the same distance. Pull yourself back up. And again, check in. What do you feel? Connect the core. What do you feel? Good, we got two more. And then release knees into chest. It is my favorite type of class. Silent series, yay! So George between the knees, go ahead and roll over onto your side. So bottom rib is lifted. Again, it's all about that setup so the torso stays still. And we're really getting that femur to move in that hip socket, that thigh bone. All right, check in with the core. Ribs are in, long spine. You're looking straight forward. Tailbone reaches toward the bottom of your mat. Starting off with Betty Boop. So rotating that heel toward the ceiling, slowly back down. So try to keep George relatively still. If he's rolling, your fingers are going off center from each other, and that's not necessarily deep hip muscles, and that's what we want to go with. So again, use George for feedback. What's going on? And maybe over time that we're working on getting him more stable, but you can also work on that today. Got one more. All right, this time up and hold. Go ahead and take George out. All right, so see if you can rotate a little bit higher and then hold. So notice the stack of your knees, you're still stacked. Keeping that rotation, how far back can you take the leg? Notice the heel still up, and then keep that rotation, bring it back to where you started. So hopefully that heel can stay that same amount of rotation the whole time. That is our challenge here. Bottom rib still staying lifted. When I start focusing elsewhere and cueing elsewhere, then I lose my rotation. So it happens to all of us. So again, your range of motion might be different than mine, but what can you do where you move the knee backwards and maintain it? We got one more here. Hold it back, keep it rotated. All right, from here, now lift the whole leg up. So you're lifting from that glute, lift. You're lifting while in medial rotation. Again, how does it feel? Think about back of the hip, glute, doing the work. Again, you can hold the pelvis still if that helps. It's going to be a small motion. We got two more. And then slowly straighten that leg out. From here, slowly down, tap the side of your foot to the mat, and then slowly back up as high as you can go without rocking the pelvis. So down with control, and then slowly up and reach long. So notice the range of motion should be bigger than we were doing this with that funky leg ankle going on. Think about the bottom leg. Press that foot into the ground. It pushes the knee into the ground, right? Push the hip into the ground. Got to keep this knee and toe toward the ceiling. Two more. 1, 2. And then slide that bottom leg out long. Both legs are down to start. All right, reset since we changed that bottom hip angle. Check the core. Bottom leg pushes the top leg up. And then slowly release. So make the inner thigh do the work. Push and release. Push and release. We got a couple more. And hold. All right, pause, check in, see if we can lift it a little bit higher, hold it, keep that pelvis still. Again, check in with the bottom oblique set, almost there, and release down. All right, bottom arm reaches long, top arm can be in front for balance, can be on your side for challenge, it can be lifted, it can move through all three positions, what works for you. So lateral flexion, so pushing the upper body with the elbow or with the hand, bring the top rib and hip together, lift the legs. You feel the work here, and then you're controlling it down from there. So exhale up fast, and then slow on the way down. And so just try to avoid just dropping this rib cage down. Slide that arm out. Again, create length through the body. Create the control in that torso. Ribs and, shoulders and hips should be perpendicular to the ground. Nice and stacked. We got two more. Last one. And release. All right, flip yourself all around. Okay, back to 90 and 90. George between the knees. Bottom rib is lifted. And making sure I'm in the right spot. Head is long, natural extension of your spine. Again, nice core stable. So keeping those hips stacked. Again, George is your biofeedback. Slowly rotate that top knee toward the ceiling. Bring it back down. So minimal movement on George. So part of it can be getting George in that right spot. So check and see, play with where you put George. So there's minimal movement. I mean, he's gonna move. You're squishing him. He's a squishy thing, right? Or moving on him, but minimize it. So rotation happens from deep hip. So 3 more here. Last one. And release. And then up and hold, take George out. So keep your rotation working here. So again, that rotation happens at the hip. Your foot is relaxed. And then slowly keeping this thigh parallel to the ground. Extend the leg behind you as far as you can go and keep that rotation. And then keeping that rotation. That's the goal this whole time. Bring it forward. So we're challenging those glutes to hold and move. So glute min is doing the hold, glute max and need are doing the move. This leg moves totally differently than the other leg, just in case you're wondering. Focus on keeping this one rotated. So again, notice differences right to left. That helps us keep into where you need to strengthen, what's happened to your body over time. All right, hold it back this time. Keeping your rotation still, slowly lift and lower the knee. Exhale up, inhale. Again, you're lifting from here, that hip muscle. Deep hips. Try to keep that leg back as far as you go, keeping your rotation. A couple more. Last one. And then slowly straighten that leg out. All right, so keep the knee and toe forward, slowly foot tap down if that's comfortable, and then lift up. Pelvis stays still. Slowly release down. Slowly lift back up, down, and up. We got a couple more. Reach through your heel, last one here, and then slowly straighten that bottom leg out, straighten the top leg out, reposition yourself Again, change the angle of that bottom hip, changes how you stabilize. So bottom rib is connected, check in. All right, so I'm just using George to hold my hand, keeps my shoulder blades more stacked. All right, so when you're ready, exhale, use the bottom leg to lift the top, slowly release down. Relax the neck and shoulders. Let the core do the work, let the inner thigh on that bottom leg. So the bottom leg pushes up. Two more. And release. All right. Top arm goes out, George off to the side again. Where do you want this top hand for stability for challenge? All right, core connects. When you're ready, pushing with the hand or the elbow, exhale, upper body lifts. You're getting this rib to hip to shorten. The legs are lifted off the ground. Long spine, slowly release yourself back. Faster on the way up. And then this is where control happens. So you really think about lengthening the spine. So watch how you drop the ribs down. You drop the bottom heavily and then kind of really force the ribs down, or can you lengthen out as you go down? A little bit more challenging. Let's do three more. Yeah, one side tends to be easier than the other, noticing that. Sometimes it changes sides, it really does. Last one also depends on what we've done before it, right after it, right? All right, and then roll over onto your back. Figure four stretch. And then let it go the other way. And then when you're ready, other leg. And then bring yourself up to sitting. So we're gonna do mermaid. So again, open up the spine a little bit more, get the hips working. So I want you to take this top knee and push it back a little bit more, and then let the other leg follow it. So you have your foot pushing into the thigh, and make sure this back foot is gently pointed and then relaxed. And again, that gives you freedom in this knee, so there's no stress here. Bottom hand on the ground. On inhale, that top arm goes up. Exhale, slowly reach up and over, similar to what we were doing, but we're creating the curve going up this time. Inhale. As you exhale, I want you to push that top hip forward and roll your spine. Take it, inhale, reach, and then exhale, bring yourself back through center, let the arm go back. Where do you want your head? Mine does not like to go up on this one, so I always go down, but you might be different. And then go overhead, and then inhale up, and pause. Now work with this top hip. I want you to exhale, push that top hip forward. That uses the glute. Inhale, release. Exhale, use the glute. Push your top hip forward. Push your top hip forward, working on getting the femur and the pelvis to move. Let's do one more. And then we're gonna go back into the mermaid. So when you're ready, inhale up, exhale, over, reach long. Inhale, lift the rib cage to the ceiling. As you exhale, push that top hip forward. Let your spine gently follow in that roll. Inhale, stay there. Reach, reach, reach out. Exhale. Arm, or you rotate back, arm goes behind, drop into a little chest stretch. On the next exhale, you're going overhead again, reach long, and then inhale up, exhale, pause. So now again, work that hip, push the hip forward and release. So you'll notice the shoulder torso responds a little bit. That's fine, let it. We're getting that motion happening from the hip. We got two more. And then we're gonna flip and do the other side. So just swing those legs on around. You got it. And again, set up. This leg comes back, so it's more in line with the torso. Again, that's relative to what's going on with you, right? All right, so bring the other foot to join it, so you have that little bit of pressure. Notice how it changes slightly what's going on with the upper body. Down a little bit, so I stay on that. All right, so in line, there we go. All right, so when you're ready, inhale, that top arm reaches up. Exhale, slowly roll over. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, push that top hip forward. Reach that arm over and long into that twist. Stay here for inhale. And then exhale, roll the shoulders back, reach the arm back, open up the chest. Even think about pushing out of that bottom arm. Where does your head want to go? As you exhale, reach long again. And then inhale all the way up. And now push the top hip forward and back. Forward. So this side on this side feels totally different from the other one to me. So this is my hip that has the SI joint issue. So it does move differently to begin with. Last one here. Back in the mermaid. Inhale up and over. Exhale, reach long. On the next exhale, you're slowly pushing that top hip forward. You're reaching and rolling the spine. Stay for inhale. Exhale, roll back behind you. Lift up out of that bottom elbow. Open the chest. Where do you want your head to go? Exhale, the arm goes long. Inhale up. And then the hip 5 times. 1. Feel it opening through the front. Feel the work in the back. No discomfort in the low back. Okay, so there we go. Now I got a little isolation going on. I feel like I can isolate a little bit more so the rib cage isn't moving as much. We got 2 more. And then release. Why don't you come down onto your back, knees into your chest. Rock around for a moment. Release out. See how you feel. And then feet going on the ground. Okay, then push the knees gently into the ball. Take an inhale, coming back into those hip rolls. So as you exhale, check the core, lengthen the low back, pushing the feet into the ground, slowly lifting yourself up. Inhale, and then exhale and slowly lower yourself down. So a couple more here. So notice how you're rolling differently than when we started. Let's do 2 more. And then you are done for today. Excellent job.